ask again, from your unique professional perspectives, what do you see as the most pressing ethical issue facing AI today? And Elizabeth, we'll start with you. What do you think?
I actually think it's a challenge that the way we're starting 2025, it's a little bit towards deregulation, because even though ethics is independent of regulations or law itself, is intrinsically is not, we do need good regulations to be able to have those results. Like when you talk about ethics by design, what are the incentives? I still see that we're lacking incentives, uh, and right for companies to build ethically. And as for the region, I see with optimism the cases of Chile, which has worked a lot on the laws, and even neurotechnology has been discussed in Congress. And so it's very important that the region is making those steps towards also harmonizing and having those equivalences. Like recently, Chile approved the Ley de Datos, which is like a GDPR. So it's very similar to what's happened to the law in the UK, the EU, and so it's easier to talk. So I wish that for ethics we could also have, if we're talking about taxonomies or different frameworks that we already have, that we're able to take action on them, because I see that we have a lot of frameworks, a lot of work done, but little is translated, in reality. So that's what I can say. It's a mixed of, it's a mixed feelings for me, from my perspective.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Yeah, I think it probably resonates well with all of us that we're seeing a bit of mixture there. Gayatri, what do you think?
Yes, Clara. I think for me, the applicability of cybersecurity measures and countering emergent risks that would arise from AI is a challenge that I would see. It can emerge risks in toxicity, harm, bias, discrimination, safety issues, because we see so much varied applications, varied domain use cases. We do not have that KPIs, metrics, or the existing process and procedures or standards that can be directly applied. So we have ways and means that are being developed, but I see that is a challenge. What I see that, how do you identify emerging risks? How do you quantify them? How do you evaluate them? How do you categorize them? How do you mitigate? They do have a trait of changing their behavior at each life cycle, at each stage of the life cycle. So addressing those things is what I see as a key aspect for me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Titilola, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you. Um, I think that if only we can harmonize, if it's possible, many of the different frameworks that have been provided, and that would do a lot of good to the AI world. But in the absence of that, maybe an international agency like the UNESCO regulations of 2021, maybe it's quite detailed, I must say. It puts a lot of thought went into that document, because beyond the principles, it has values. Then it talks about the policy areas and the likes. Maybe we can look to that. But standing out for me among those principles recommended is transparency. It seems to me that we can start with transparency as looming the largest among the various principles and values and norms that have been recommended to guide. Of course, it won't be just transparency, but it's kind of top on the list for me. And Elizabeth made allusion to this. Enough of recommendations. Can we begin to also implement? Some would argue that ethics don't implement, they just make normative pronouncement. But I think with AI, we have some unique challenges on our hands that we should up the game a little bit and hold big tech companies to task on some of their deployment, even with all of these the issues we've seen in AI biases, algorithmic bias, and all. It seems to me that we're not seeing an end to it, and people are just still doing business as usual. So it would be good if we could have some framing up on some of these regulations. Maybe that's where law comes in, because law now, we have aspects of law dealing with AI ethics as well. Maybe that's where there should be synergy between the AI ethicists and legal AI practitioners to ensure, and we would need a global body, so to speak, or some form of consortium to see to this kind of thing. But I would think that we should begin with transparency, because the opaqueness, the black box inherent in the workings of some of these AI systems, it leaves much to be desired. And then maybe we could also work to reducing the hype. People go to town with it on how much you could do, and how, and it kind of blurs the real issues in AI, and how, and the beautiful havoc it's wreaking. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Very nice. Lots of issues there as well. Both this call for a more global, more unified approach to ethics. How do we work together? The fact that we say a lot of things, but a lot is also business as usual. What does it mean to have real impact? And I think that is in itself a difficult question to address, but also an urgent one, but is often clouded, as you point out, from the hype and excitement of AI, and therefore not being addressed in a meaningful way. Veronica, what do you see as the most pressing ethical issues from your perspectives?
Thank you very much for the question. And I agree with my colleague Titilola that before talking about fairness, we should take into consideration the concept of transparency. For that reason, with my team, I have developed the concept of right to know all implication. And I mean, both positive and negative implication that may occur during the use of the artificial intelligence system. And transparency should be the core principle of next ethical approaches that will be established also by technical standards that will be enforced by our European legislator as well, hopefully soon. So this is my point of view.
Yeah, I realize that there's a lot of intersection actually between you and Titilola and some of the work that you do, and the real concerns that you have there that needs to be addressed. So thank you for that. So I have a question for Elizabeth. So as a founder of something like the Ignite Lab project, which intersection do you see between this, traditional, how do I ask this? So traditionally, innovation has raced ahead and regulation always follows. How do you see this intersection between innovation and practical applications of AI? How do you envision that we could obtain some kind of balance between that drive for innovation with the need to address the ethical concerns that we have in AI development?
Well, first of all, we acknowledge the tensions. The tensions will be always there, and the tensions are, that's also like if most of the people trying to make